Welcome back. This will be a quick lesson where we learn the steps to evaluate corporate restructuring actions. Let's jump right in. In your work as a portfolio manager, you may encounter reports of corporate restructuring from companies whose shares are in your portfolio. A framework to evaluate if a corporate restructuring is of interest and its estimated impact can be summarized in 3 major steps. You should first make an initial evaluation, followed by a preliminary valuation, before going into more detailed modeling and evaluation. And lastly, you may update your portfolio's investment thesis based on the findings of the evaluation. In this lesson, we will focus on the initial evaluation before studying the rest of the steps in subsequent lessons. This step involves answering 4 questions. What is happening? Why is it happening? Is it material? And when is it happening? To answer the first 2 questions, examine corporate press releases, securities filings, and analyst conference calls. When answering the why question, you should try to infer the real motivations behind the restructuring. Some skepticism may be warranted when studying the official statements, as the management is more likely to frame the restructuring positively. Materiality can be defined based on the size and fit. For an investment or divestment, size is evaluated based on the value of the transaction as a proportion of the enterprise value of the subject company. Cost restructuring may be evaluated as estimated savings as a percentage of sales. In either case, a rule of thumb is to classify actions with a proportion greater than 10% as material. Fit refers to the compatibility or consistency with existing company strategy or prior actions. For example, a company making an acquisition of a company in a different industry could be interpreted as management changing its strategy. You should note that materiality should not be solely judged by market reaction. Market participants tend to judge an action based on the stock price action in the days after the announcement. That is, if the price reaction is positive, the market thinks the action will generate value, and vice versa. However, research suggests that such initial market reaction is often wrong based on the company performance in subsequent years. And lastly, the scheduled timing of the action, which can have a delay of up to a few years. During this time, the announced action may require approval from the authorities and/or antitrust regulators. You, as an analyst, should assess the probability that such actions get blocked by regulators or shareholders, and how the stock price may be affected during this period of uncertainty. And that's our quick summary of the initial evaluation step in evaluating corporate restructuring, where you ask the 4 key questions. After you've cleared all these questions, you may proceed to make a primary evaluation on the entities involved, which we'll discuss in the next lesson. See you again.